Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Conversation Academy. I am so glad you joined us today for some real-world English practice.
Hi there, I'm Sarah, and today we are going to have a very honest and useful conversation about something we all deal with: stress. This is a great way for you to practice listening to natural English and learn some new expressions.
That is so true, Sarah. Stress is just a part of life, isn't it? By the way, how are you feeling today? You look a little bit tired.
You have a good eye. To be honest, I am feeling a bit overwhelmed this week. I have so many things on my to-do list, and I feel like there aren't enough hours in the day.
Oh, I totally understand that feeling. I call that being buried under work. When you have too much to do, it's hard to even know where to start, right?
Exactly. I start one task, then I remember another one, and then my phone pings with a new email. It's a never-ending cycle. Haha, I guess I'm just stressed out.
Stressed out is such a common phrasal verb. I use it all the time. When I'm stressed out, I usually get a tension headache. Do you get any physical symptoms when you're under pressure?
Definitely. My shoulders get really tight, and I find it hard to sleep because my mind is racing. I keep thinking about what I need to do tomorrow.
I know that feeling of a racing mind. It's like a motor that won't turn off. I usually try to drink some herbal tea to calm down, but sometimes even that doesn't work.
Haha, tea is good. But sometimes we need more than just a hot drink. What usually causes the most stress for you? Is it work or family stuff? Or maybe just the news?
For me, it's definitely deadlines. I hate the feeling of a clock ticking down. It makes me feel like I'm in a race that I'm losing. What about you?
For me, it's multitasking. I know people say multitasking is a skill, but for me, it's just a recipe for stress. I prefer focusing on one thing at a time, but life doesn't always let you do that.
That is a great point. A recipe for stress. I like that expression. It means something that is almost certain to cause stress, like drinking 10 cups of coffee is a recipe for a panic attack.
Exactly. And yet, we do it anyway because we think it helps us work faster. It's a bit of a trap.
It really is. I've noticed that when I'm stressed, I also become very irritable. I lose my patience over small things, like a slow internet connection or a long line at the grocery store.
Oh, I'm the same way. My poor husband has to deal with my grumpy mood when I've had a long day. I try to apologize later, but in the moment, everything feels so annoying.
At least you apologize. Some people just stay grumpy. Do you have any specific go-to methods to de-stress after a long day?
I really love going for a long walk. Just being outside in the fresh air helps me clear my head. If the weather is bad, I might just put on some music and cook a nice meal. Cooking is very therapeutic for me.
Cooking, really? For me, cooking is stressful because I'm afraid I'll burn something. Ha ha ha. I prefer listening to podcasts or maybe just sitting in silence for 10 minutes.
Silence is underrated. We live in such a noisy world. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just unplug from everything. No phone, no TV, no laptop.
Unplugging is a great term. It's so hard to do these days because we are always connected. Do you ever feel FOMO or the fear of missing out when you unplug?
A little bit, but I've realized that most things can wait. Nothing is so urgent that I can't take 30 minutes for my own mental health.
That's a very healthy mindset. I'm trying to get better at setting boundaries, like not checking my work emails after 7 p.m.
That is a tough one. The temptation to just check one more time is so strong. But once you look, your brain goes back into work mode, and the stress returns.
Precisely. It's like we are addicted to the stress in a weird way. We feel like if we aren't busy, we aren't being productive.
Yes. We call that hustle culture. It's the idea that you always have to be working hard to be successful, but it often leads to burnout.
Burnout is a serious word. It's more than just being tired, it's when you are completely exhausted emotionally and physically. I've been there once, and it took me a long time to recover.
I'm sorry to hear that. It's a scary place to be. That's why conversations like this are so important. We need to recognize the signs before we reach that point.
I agree. One sign for me is when I stop enjoying my hobbies. If I don't even want to pick up a book or watch a movie, I know I'm reaching my limit.
That's a very clear red flag. For me, it's when I start eating junk food. I call it stress eating. Give me a bag of chips or a chocolate bar, and I feel better for 5 minutes. Then I feel worse.
Haha, the classic stress eating. I go for pizza. There is something about melted cheese that feels like a hug, even if it's not healthy.
Ha 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 ha. Cheese is a hug. I love that. We should put that on a t-shirt. But seriously, finding healthier ways to cope is the real challenge.
It really is. I started practicing deep breathing exercises. It sounds simple, but it actually changes your heart rate and calms your nervous system.
I've tried that. I use an app that guides me through it. It helps me stay grounded when I feel like things are spinning out of control.
Staying grounded is another wonderful expression. It means staying calm and connected to reality. It's so easy to let our thoughts spiral into what-if scenarios.
What-if scenarios are the worst. What if I fail? What if they don't like my work? What if I forget something important? It's all just imaginary stress.
Right. Most of the things we worry about never actually happen. It's like we are paying interest on a debt we don't even owe yet.
Wow, that is a deep thought. I'm going to remember that one. Speaking of debt, money is a huge source of stress for many people, especially with the cost of living going up.
Absolutely. Financial stress is a very heavy burden. It's hard to relax when you are worried about bills. It makes every other small problem feel much bigger.
It really does. I think that's why it's important to have a support system. Just talking to a friend about your worries can make them feel a bit lighter.
A problem shared is a problem halved. My grandmother used to say that all the time, and I think she was right.
She was very wise. Even if the friend can't solve the problem, just being heard makes a difference. Do you find it easy to talk to people when you're stressed?
Honestly, no. I tend to clam up. I pull away and try to deal with everything by myself. I don't want to burden anyone else with my problems.
I understand that. But you should remember that your friends probably want to help. To clam up is a funny idiom, like a clam closing its shell tightly.
Yes, exactly like that. I just hide away in my shell until I feel better. But I'm learning that it's okay to say, "Hey, I'm having a rough time. Can we talk?"
That takes a lot of courage. It's actually a sign of strength, not weakness, to ask for help.
You're right. I'm working on it. You know, another thing that helps me is exercise. Not even a heavy workout, just moving my body.
Oh, definitely. Endorphins are real. After a quick run, I feel like a completely different person. The stress is still there, but my perspective has changed.
Perspective is everything. Sometimes we are so close to the problem that we can't see the solution. We need to step back to see the bigger picture.
Step back and look at the big picture. These are such useful phrases for our viewers. It's all about how we view the situation.
Exactly. For example, if I'm stuck in traffic, I can choose to be angry and stressed. Or I can choose to use that time to listen to a new audiobook.
That is a great example of reframing a situation. You turn a negative experience into a positive, or at least a neutral one.
I try my best, though I still get frustrated sometimes. I'm only human.
Ha 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 ha, me too. I think if someone says they are never stressed, they are probably lying. Or they are a robot.
Ha ha ha, definitely a robot. Even the most relaxed people have their moments. It's about how you bounce back.
Bounce back. That's resilience. I think learning a language requires a lot of resilience too, because it can be quite stressful to make mistakes.
That's a great point. Many of our viewers might feel stressed when they have to speak English. They are afraid of looking silly or being misunderstood.
I want to tell them that it's totally normal to feel that way. We all feel nervous when we try something new. The key is to keep at it.
Keep at it means to continue doing something even if it is difficult. If you keep practicing, the stress of speaking will eventually fade away.
Exactly. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the more you speak, the more confident you become.
I always tell my students that mistakes are just stepping stones to success. Every time you make a mistake, you learn something new.
That's a lovely way to put it. I wish I had thought of that when I was learning my second language. I used to get so embarrassed.
We all do. I remember trying to order food in French and the waiter just stared at me. I wanted the ground to swallow me up.
Ha ha! I wanted the ground to swallow me up. What a perfect idiom for being extremely embarrassed. Did you eventually get your food?
I did, but I think I ended up with a salad when I wanted a steak. Haha, it was a very healthy mistake.
Well, at least you didn't go hungry. See, you survived the stress. And now it's just a funny story.
That's the thing about stress. Most of the things that stress us out today will be funny stories or forgotten memories in a year.
That's a very comforting thought. It helps to put things in the long-term perspective.
Speaking of time, I feel like we've been talking for a while, but there is still so much to cover. Should we talk about work-related stress specifically?
Yes, let's do that. Work is probably the #1 source of stress for adults. There are so many factors, like toxic environments or unrealistic expectations.
Toxic is a word we hear a lot lately. A toxic workplace is one where there is a lot of conflict, gossip, or bad management. It can really drain your energy.
It's exhausting. If you're in a toxic environment, you feel stressed before you even arrive at the office. You have that Sunday night dread.
Oh, the Sunday scaries. That's what people call that feeling of anxiety on Sunday evening because Monday morning is coming.
Haha, the Sunday scaries. I've definitely felt those. You're trying to enjoy your weekend, but the thought of the upcoming week is hanging over your head.
One way I deal with that is by planning my Monday on Friday afternoon. That way, I don't have to worry about what I need to do when I wake up.
That is a very smart tip. It's all about organization. When things are organized, they feel more manageable.
Manageable. That's a good word. It means something that you can handle or control.
Right. We can't always eliminate stress, but we can make it manageable. What about tight deadlines? How do you handle those without losing your mind?
I try to break the big project into bite-sized pieces. Instead of thinking about the whole thing, I just focus on the next small step.
Bite-sized pieces. I love that imagery. It's much easier to eat a meal one bite at a time than all at once.
Exactly. And I also try to avoid procrastination. That's my biggest enemy. When I put things off until the last minute, the stress multiplies.
Procrastination is a universal struggle. We tell ourselves we work better under pressure, but usually we just end up working with a lot more cortisol in our systems.
Haha, so true. Cortisol is the stress hormone, right? Our bodies aren't meant to have high levels of it all the time.
No, it's not healthy for the heart or the brain. That's why we need to find outlets for our stress.
An outlet is a way to release energy or emotion. For some, it's sports. For others, it's art or music.
My outlet is definitely gardening. There is something about putting my hands in the dirt that makes me feel connected to the earth and far away from my emails.
Gardening sounds lovely and peaceful. I don't have a green thumb, though. I usually kill my plants by accident. Ha ha.
Ha. To have a green thumb is a great idiom for being good with plants. Don't worry, even a black thumb can learn to grow some simple herbs.
Maybe I'll start with a plastic plant and see how it goes. Ha ha. But seriously, finding what works for you is a personal journey.
It really is. What works for me might not work for you. The important thing is to be self-aware.
Self-aware means knowing your own character, feelings, and motives. If you know you're getting stressed, you can take action before it gets worse.
Right. You can say to yourself, "Okay, Sarah, you're starting to feel overwhelmed. It's time to take a 5-minute break."
Do you actually talk to yourself in the third person? Ha ha ha.
Sometimes. It helps me stay objective. It's like I'm my own coach.
I like that. Being your own coach. We are often much harder on ourselves than we would ever be on a friend.
That is so true. We need to practice self-compassion. We should speak to ourselves with the same kindness we give to others.
Self-compassion is a very important concept, especially when we make mistakes or feel like we aren't doing enough.
Absolutely. We are all doing our best in a very busy world. Sometimes, just getting through the day is a victory.
I agree 100%. Sometimes good enough is actually great. We don't have to be perfect.
Perfectionism is another huge cause of stress. Trying to be perfect is an impossible goal. It just leads to constant dissatisfaction.
I struggle with that a lot. I want everything to be just right, but I'm learning to embrace the imperfections.
That's a beautiful way to live. Embracing the messiness of life makes it a lot more fun and a lot less stressful.
It really does. You know, I was reading an article about positive stress. Have you heard of that?
Is that what they call eustress? Like the excitement you feel before a big event?
Exactly. It's the same physical feeling as stress, pounding heart, sweaty palms. But we interpret it as excitement or motivation.
That's fascinating. So, the stress we feel before giving a presentation or going on a first date can actually be a good thing.
Yes, it can help us stay sharp and focused. It's all about our mindset.
Mindset is such a powerful word. It's the set of attitudes we hold. If we see stress as a challenge rather than a threat, we perform better.
I love that distinction. A challenge is something you can overcome. A threat is something that can hurt you.
Precisely. I'm going to try to think of my to-do list as a series of challenges today, instead of a mountain of threats.
That sounds like a great plan, and if the mountain gets too high, you can always take a break and talk to me again.
Haha, I'll hold you to that. You know, another thing that causes stress is social media. Seeing everyone else's perfect lives can make us feel inadequate.
Oh, definitely. We compare our behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. It's not a fair comparison.
Highlight reel. That's a perfect way to describe social media. People only post the best moments, not the moments they are crying over burnt toast or stuck in traffic.
Ha 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 ha, exactly. No one posts a selfie of their Sunday scaries.
We should start a trend. Hashtag Sunday Scaries Selfie. Maybe it would make everyone feel less alone.
Ha ha, that would be hilarious. But I think people prefer the filtered versions of reality.
Unfortunately, you're right. But knowing that it's mostly filtered helps reduce the pressure to be perfect.
It's all about digital literacy, understanding that what we see online isn't always the full truth.
That, and just putting the phone down once in a while. My sleep improved so much when I stopped scrolling before bed.
I need to do that too. The blue light from the screen keeps the brain awake, right?
Yes, it interferes with your sleep cycle, and then you wake up tired, which makes you more stressed, and the cycle continues.
It's all connected. Sleep, diet, exercise, and social connection. They are the 4 pillars of managing stress.
I like that. The 4 pillars. If one pillar is weak, the whole structure starts to shake.
That's a great analogy. I think I need to work on the sleep pillar. I'm a bit of a night owl.
A night owl. I'm the opposite. I'm an early bird. I love the quiet of the morning.
I wish I could be an early bird, but my brain only starts working after 10 a.m.
Ha ha ha, everyone is different. The important thing is to find a routine that fits your natural rhythm.
Routine is another good tool for reducing stress. It takes away the need to make so many small decisions.
Decision fatigue is a real thing. By the end of the day, I can't even decide what to have for dinner.
Decision fatigue. That's a very useful phrase. It's why some successful people wear the same kind of clothes every day, to save their brain power for important things.
Like Steve Jobs and his black turtlenecks. I don't think I could do that, though. I like a little variety in my wardrobe.
Haha, me too. But I can see the logic behind it. One less thing to worry about.
Definitely. So, we've talked about work, social media, and health. What about the stress of learning a language? Do you think that's a unique kind of stress?
I think so. It's a very vulnerable experience. You are trying to express your thoughts and personality, but you have limited tools or words.
Vulnerable is a strong word, but it's very accurate. You feel exposed. But the more you do it, the more thick-skinned you become.
To be thick-skinned means you aren't easily bothered by criticism or mistakes. That's a great goal for any English learner.
Absolutely. And remember, most native speakers are just happy that you are trying to speak their language. They aren't judging your grammar.
That is so true. If someone speaks to me in my language, even if it's not perfect, I'm just impressed that they put in the effort.
I feel the same way. It's about communication, not perfection. If I understand you, you've succeeded.
Exactly. So, to all our viewers, don't let the fear of making mistakes stress you out. Just keep talking.
Just keep talking. That could be our motto. Huh.
I love that. Maybe we should make a list of stress-busting phrases for them to use.
Stress busting. I love that word. Like ghost busting, but for stress. Phrases like take it easy or don't sweat the small stuff.
Don't sweat the small stuff is one of my favorites. It means don't worry about minor problems.
And it's not the end of the world. That's a good one for when something goes wrong.
Yes, or this too shall pass. It reminds us that feelings are temporary.
Those are all so helpful. I think I'm feeling less stressed just talking about this with you.
Me too. It's funny how that works. We started this conversation feeling a bit tired, and now I feel quite energized.
That's the power of social connection. We are social creatures, after all.
We really are. Even for introverts, a good conversation can be very refreshing.
Speaking of introverts, being an introvert in an extroverted world can be a source of stress too, don't you think?
Oh, 100%. Feeling like you should be more social or more loud when you really just want to stay home with a book.
It's that pressure to fit in. But once you accept who you are, a lot of that stress just disappears.
To fit in. Another great phrasal verb. It means to be similar to the others in a group.
I spent way too much of my 20s trying to fit in. Now in my 30s, I'm much happier just being myself.
That's the wisdom of age they talk about. Ha ha ha, I'm right there with you.
Ha ha. We are getting wiser every minute. You know, I was thinking about the word relax. People always say, just relax. But sometimes that's the hardest thing to do.
It's actually quite annoying when someone says, just relax, when you are in the middle of a panic.
It's the worst. It's like telling someone who is drowning to just swim.
Ha ha, exactly. Instead of saying relax, maybe we should say, take a deep breath, or how can I help?
Much better. It's more supportive.
Definitely. So, Sarah, if you had one piece of advice for someone who is feeling very stressed right now, what would it be?
That's a good question. I think I would say, zoom out. Look at your life from a distance. Will this matter in 5 years? If not, try to let go of some of that weight.
Zoom out. I love that. It's like looking at a map instead of being lost in the trees.
Exactly. And what about you? What's your best tip?
My tip would be to be kind to yourself. Don't be your own worst critic. Give yourself permission to have a bad day.
I love that. Permission to have a bad day. We don't have to be happy all the time.
No, that's toxic positivity. It's okay to feel sad or stressed or angry. It's part of the human experience.
Toxic positivity. That's a great term for the pressure to always stay positive, even when things are difficult. It's not realistic.
Not at all. Authentic living means feeling all the emotions, the good and the bad.
Well said. I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about physical signs, work stress, social media, and even language learning.
We certainly have. I hope our viewers are finding this conversation helpful for their English and their peace of mind.
Me too. Should we dive a bit deeper into how to express these feelings in a professional setting? Because sometimes you have to tell your boss you're stressed, but you want to do it politely.
That is a very practical topic. Using the right professional language is key. You don't want to say, "I'm losing my mind" to your boss.
Haha, no, probably not. You might want to say, "I'm currently at my maximum capacity," or "I'm concerned about the current workload."
At maximum capacity. That sounds very professional and clear. It means you literally cannot take on any more work.
Right. Or you could say, "I want to ensure the quality of my work, but with the current timeline, I'm worried it might suffer."
That's a smart way to put it. You are showing that you care about the quality, which bosses love.
It's all about framing, like we mentioned before. You are presenting the problem as a concern for the company's success.
What about when a coworker is stressing you out? How do you handle that?
That's trickier. I think direct but kind communication is best. Maybe something like, "I've noticed some tension between us, and I'd love to find a way to work together more smoothly."
That's very brave. "I've noticed some tension." It opens the door for a real conversation without being confrontational.
Confrontational means tending to deal with situations in an aggressive way. It's usually better to be assertive instead.
Assertive is the perfect middle ground. You stand up for yourself, but you remain respectful.
Exactly. I think a lot of stress comes from unsaid things. We hold things in, and they grow bigger in our heads.
They fester, like a wound that isn't cleaned. It's better to bring them out into the light.
To fester. What a descriptive word. You're right. Once you talk about it, the power of the stress usually starts to fade.
It really does. Wow, I just looked at the clock. Time is flying.
It really is. We should probably keep going because I still want to talk about burnout in more detail.
Yes, burnout is something that many people confuse with just being tired, but the symptoms are quite different.
They are. With burnout, you often feel detached, or like your work doesn't matter anymore.
That sense of apathy is a big warning sign when you stop caring about the results.
Apathy. That's a strong vocabulary word. It means a lack of interest or enthusiasm.
I felt that before. I was working so hard that I just didn't care if the project succeeded or not. I just wanted it to be over.
That's exactly it. And the recovery from that takes more than just a weekend off. It usually requires a real change in lifestyle.
Or even a career change sometimes, which is a huge stressor in itself.
Stressor. That's the technical term for anything that causes stress. Moving house, changing jobs, getting married. Even good things can be stressors.
That's true. Even a vacation can be stressful. Planning the flights, packing the bags, making sure you don't miss the train.
Ha 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 ha. I always need a vacation after my vacation to recover from the stress of traveling.
Me too. We are funny creatures, aren't we? We work so hard to have a good time that we stress ourselves out.
It's the paradox of modern life. We have more convenience than ever, but we seem more stressed than our ancestors.
I think about that a lot. They didn't have emails, but they had to worry about, surviving the winter.
Ha ha ha, true. Maybe their stress was more immediate, and ours is more chronic.
Chronic stress. That's the kind that lasts for a long time. It's the one we really need to watch out for.
Definitely. Well, I'm glad we're taking the time to talk this through. It feels like a venting session.
To vent. That means to let out strong emotions or frustrations. It's like opening a valve on a pressure cooker.
Exactly. And I hope our viewers are venting a little bit in the comments too. It's good to share.
I'm curious to know what the biggest stressor is for our audience. Is it learning English or something else?
We should ask them. If you're watching, let us know in the comments what makes you feel stressed.
And also tell us how you say stress in your language. It's always interesting to see the different words.
Yes, language is so fascinating. I once heard that in some languages, there isn't a direct word for stress. They use words like heaviness or tightness.
That makes sense. Stress is a very physical feeling. It feels like a weight on your chest.
It really does. Sometimes I have to literally shake my arms and legs to get rid of that heavy feeling.
Like a dog shaking off water. That's actually a proven way to reset your nervous system.
Really? I didn't know that. I just did it because it felt right. Haha.
It's true. It's called therapeutic shaking. It helps release the tension stored in your muscles.
I'm going to do that after we finish this video. I'll be shaking all over the room.
Ha 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 ha. I want to see that. Maybe we can include it in the bloopers.
No way. That's too embarrassing. Then I'd be stressed about the bloopers.
Ha ha ha. Okay. No shaking on camera. We'll keep it a secret.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We've been talking for quite a while now, and I feel like we've really scratched the surface of this topic.
Scratch the surface. That means we have only started to deal with a small part of a big problem.
There is so much more to say, like how to help a friend who is stressed without being annoying.
That's a tough one. Sometimes just being there is enough. You don't always have to have the answers.
Just being there. Presence over prizes. I'd like that.
And sometimes just bringing someone a cup of coffee or doing a small chore for them can mean the world.
Small acts of kindness. They are like stress repellents.
Repellent, like bug spray. I love your analogies today, Sarah.
Haha, thanks. I think my brain is finally waking up.
Good, because we still have a lot of conversation left. Do you want to talk about how stress affects our health in the long run?
We probably should, though it's a bit serious. It can lead to high blood pressure and other issues.
It can. But the good news is that the body is very resilient. If we start taking care of ourselves now, we can reverse a lot of the damage.
That's very hopeful. It's never too late to start a healthy habit.
Never. Even just 5 minutes of meditation a day can make a difference over a few months.
I find meditation hard. My mind just keeps wandering.
That's actually normal. The goal of meditation isn't to have a blank mind. It's just to notice when your mind wanders and bring it back.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought I was failing because I kept thinking about what to buy at the grocery store.
Haha, no. Everyone thinks about the grocery store during meditation. The practice is the act of coming back to the present moment.
That makes me feel so much better. I'm not a meditation failure after all.
Not at all. You're just a human with a busy brain.
Well, my busy brain is currently thinking about how much I've enjoyed this chat. It's been so helpful for me personally.
I'm so glad. It's been great for me too. It reminds me that I'm not alone in these feelings.
You're definitely not. And to everyone watching, you aren't alone either. We are all in this together.
That's a very important message. We should probably continue this in the next part of our conversation.
I agree. There is still so much to dive into, especially some more specific English idioms related to emotions.
Let's do it, but before we move on, let's take a quick breather.
A breather. That's a short break for rest or relaxation. Perfect timing.
And we are back. We just took a little breather ourselves, and I hope you did too. Sarah, we were just about to talk about idioms.
Yes. English is so rich with idioms about stress and pressure. One that I hear a lot is, the straw that broke the camel's back.
That's a classic. It refers to the final small problem that makes someone lose their patience or collapse under the pressure.
Right. It's not the one straw that is heavy. It's the fact that it was added to a huge pile of other straws.
Exactly. I've had many straws this week. Ha ha. What about at the end of my rope?
Oh, that's a good one. It means you have no more patience or strength left. You've reached your absolute limit.
I feel like that sometimes on Friday afternoons. I'm at the end of my rope. Don't ask me any more questions.
Ha 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 ha. I think everyone can relate to that. Another one related to work is to have a lot on your plate.
Yes, we use that to mean having many responsibilities or problems to deal with at the same time.
I'd love to help you with that project, but I already have a lot on my plate right now. It's a very polite way to say no.
It really is. It's much better than saying I'm too busy for you.
Definitely. And what about under the gun?
Under the gun means you're under a lot of pressure to get something done quickly. It usually involves a very strict deadline.
I hate being under the gun. It makes me make silly mistakes because I'm rushing.
We all do. That's why haste makes waste is another great expression to remember.
Haste makes waste. If you try to do things too quickly, you will make mistakes and end up wasting time. It's so true.
It's a bit of a contradiction, isn't it? We feel stressed, so we hurry, which makes us make mistakes, which makes us more stressed.
It's a vicious cycle. We need to learn how to break the cycle.
Breaking the cycle is exactly what we need. Sometimes that means just stopping everything for 5 minutes and doing nothing.
Doing nothing is actually a skill. In some cultures, they have a word for the beauty of doing nothing.
I think the Italians call it dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing.
Oh, that sounds so lovely. We should all practice more dolce far niente.
I agree, but in our culture, we often feel guilty if we aren't being productive.
Guilt is a major stress amplifier. We feel stressed, then we feel guilty for being stressed. Then we feel stressed about the guilt.
Ha 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 ha, stop, you're making my head spin. It's too much.
Ha 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 ha, sorry. But it's true, isn't it? We are so hard on ourselves.
We really are. We need to treat ourselves like we would treat a dear friend. You wouldn't tell a friend, you're so lazy for being tired, would you?
Never. I would say, you've been working so hard. You deserve a rest.
We need to say that to the person in the mirror more often.
The person in the mirror. That's a good way to put it. Self-talk is so powerful.
It really is. The way we speak to ourselves inside our heads determines our stress levels more than anything else.
Do you have a mantra or a positive phrase you say to yourself when things get tough?
I do. I often say, this is just a moment in time. It helps me remember that the feeling won't last forever.
I like that. Mine is one step at a time. It keeps me focused on the present instead of worrying about the whole mountain.
Both of those are very grounding. I think our viewers should try to find their own mantra in English. It's a great way to practice the language and stay calm.
That's a wonderful idea. Something simple like I can handle this, or stay calm and carry on.
Stay calm and carry on. The famous British slogan, it's famous for a reason.
It really is. So, let's talk a bit about the language of relaxation. What are some words we use to describe feeling peaceful?
Serene is a beautiful word. It's more than just calm, it's a deep kind of peace.
Tranquil is another one. We often use it to describe nature, like a tranquil lake or a tranquil forest.
And composed. We use that for a person who stays calm even in a stressful situation. She remained composed during the entire meeting.
I admire people who can stay composed. I usually get a red face and start stuttering. Haha.
Haha, I think composed is something you can practice. It's about controlling your breathing and taking a moment before you speak.
That's true. It's a poker face, but for your whole body.
Haha, a poker face. That means showing no emotion so that people don't know what you're thinking.
It's a very useful skill in business negotiations, I imagine.
Definitely. But in our personal lives, it's usually better to be vulnerable and open, like we discussed earlier.
Balance is key. Knowing when to be thick-skinned and when to be soft-hearted.
That is the great challenge of life, isn't it? Finding that sweet spot.
The sweet spot. The perfect middle ground between two extremes.
Exactly. You know, Sarah, I've noticed that some people seem to thrive on stress. They say they love the adrenaline rush.
To thrive means to grow or develop well. Some people do seem to enjoy the excitement of a high-pressure job.
I think they are the minority, though. Most of us just feel frazzled.
Frazzled. That's a great word for feeling exhausted and slightly disorganized because of stress.
I'm feeling a bit frazzled today. It sounds a bit more light-hearted than I'm having a mental breakdown.
Haha, definitely. It's a good word for when you've had a busy morning and your hair is probably a mess and you've forgotten your keys.
Ha ha ha, that's me every morning. I'm permanently frazzled until my second cup of coffee.
Coffee. The liquid gold that keeps us going. But we have to be careful, because too much caffeine can actually mimic the symptoms of anxiety.
That's a very good point. If your heart is racing because of coffee, your brain might think you are stressed about work, even if you aren't.
It's a physical feedback loop. Our brain interprets our physical state.
So the lesson is, drink coffee, but maybe don't drink the whole pot.
Wise words. Everything in moderation.
Moderation. Another important concept for a healthy life. Not too much, not too little.
Speaking of which, do you think people today have too much choice? And does that cause stress?
Oh, absolutely. It's called the paradox of choice. When you have 50 types of cereal to choose from, you worry that you'll pick the wrong one.
Yes, it's exhausting. Sometimes I wish there were only two options. Flakes or oats. Haha.
Ha 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 ha. It would certainly save time. We spend so much mental energy on things that don't really matter.
We really do. I've started trying to simplify my life. I'm getting rid of things I don't need and saying no to invitations that don't excite me.
Simplifying is a great way to de-stress. We often clutter our lives with things and commitments that don't add value.
Clutter. Both physical clutter in our homes and mental clutter in our heads. It all takes up space.
I feel so much better after I clean my desk. It's like my brain feels cleaner too.
Clean house, clean mind. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Definitely. So, Sarah, let's talk about leisure time. How do you make sure you actually enjoy your time off instead of just worrying about work?
That's a struggle for me. I have to physically leave my house sometimes to stop thinking about work. If I'm at home, I see my laptop and I feel the pull.
The pull of the screen. I get that. Going for a hike or a trip to a different city really helps reset the system.
A change of scenery is a great phrase for that. It gives your brain new things to look at and think about.
And it reminds you that the world is much bigger than your office or your problems.
Exactly. You know, I once went on a digital detox weekend. No phone for 48 hours.
Wow, how was that? Did you survive?
I did. The first few hours were hard. I kept reaching for my pocket. But by the second day, I felt so peaceful. I actually noticed the birds singing.
That sounds amazing. We usually have background noise in our lives all the time. We forget what silence sounds like.
It was a real eye-opener. It made me realize how much time I waste on mindless scrolling.
Mindless scrolling? We've all been there. You look at one video and suddenly it's an hour later and you don't know where the time went.
It's a time sink, and it usually leaves us feeling more tired and stressed than before.
So maybe a digital detox should be on everyone's to-do list for this weekend.
I highly recommend it, even just for a few hours.
That's a great piece of advice. You know, Sarah, as we're nearing the end of our talk, I'm thinking about how much English our viewers have practiced today.
I hope so. We've used so many great expressions, from stressed out to bite-sized pieces, and the Sunday scaries.
I think we should do a little wrap-up of some of the key vocabulary we used.
Good idea. Let's start with to be overwhelmed. It means to feel like you have too much to handle.
And to unplug, which means to disconnect from technology and work.
Burnout, which is total physical and emotional exhaustion.
Perspective, the way you see a situation. Changing your perspective can change your stress level.
Self-compassion, being kind to yourself when things are hard.
And resilience, the ability to bounce back from difficult situations. Those are all such important words, not just for English, but for life. I agree. I feel like this conversation has been a little therapy session for me. Haha.
Ha 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 ha. Me too. And the best part is, we did it all in English.
That's the beauty of language. It's a tool for connection and understanding.
It really is. I want to thank everyone for sticking with us through this long conversation. It's not easy to listen to English for this long.
You guys are doing a great job. Your dedication to learning is really impressive.
Absolutely. Don't forget to pat yourself on the back for the work you've done today.
To pat yourself on the back. That means to give yourself credit for a job well done.
You deserve it. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint.
A marathon, not a sprint. Another great idiom. It means it takes a long time and steady effort, so don't try to do everything at once.
Exactly. Pace yourself, and you will reach the finish line.
Well, Sarah, I think it's time for us to wrap this up. I feel much more relaxed now than I did an hour ago.
Me too. Thank you for the great chat. It was exactly what I needed.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you to all our viewers at English Conversation Academy.
We hope you found this helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more practice.
And remember, don't let the small stuff get you down. You've got this.
You really do. See you in the next video.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care of yourselves.
Bye-bye. Ha ha ha. I think I'm going to go have that herbal tea now.
Haha, sounds like a plan. I'm going to go for a walk. See you later.